I'm doing it back here again for our video. In this video, I'm doing a new movie time video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but for those of you who don't know, movie time is a series of videos where I talk about a movie that I've already seen and that I am just about to watch. Now, I don't review these movies because a lot of these movies are films that people have already seen, but basically what I do is I just give a brief description of the film and then talk about what I like about it. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a movie that I have not seen in years, and I recently ordered this movie on Blu-ray from Amazon. And the movie I'm going to be talking about is the horror stoner comedy Idle Hands. And like I said, this was a movie that I have not seen in years, but this is just a really fun, over-the-top, and cheesy movie. Basically, the movie follows Devon Sawa, who plays a character named Anton, who is this really lazy stoner. You know, he lives with his parents, and all he does is just sit around all day, watch TV, and smoke weed. He even has a inhaler, an asthma inhaler around his neck, and he uses it as a bowl. And he's friends with Seth Green and another guy, and basically all they do is that they just sit around and they just smoke weed. And the movie takes place a few nights before Halloween, and it also takes place on Halloween. You know, so this is a great movie to watch around the Halloween time. You know, and like I said, Anton he lives with his parents, and at the beginning of the movie, his parents actually get killed by something in their house. And Anton doesn't even realize this. Even at the beginning of the movie, you know, he wakes up and he goes downstairs to eat cereal, and he tries to pour milk into a cereal bowl, and they're out of milk, so he just yells, "Mom, we're out of milk!" And later on, he tries to feed his dog, and they're out of dog food, so he just yells, "Mom, we're out of dog food." He doesn't even realize that his parents have been killed and are gone somewhere. And even when he goes over to his friend Seth Green's house, and he's there to get weed from him and his other friend, he even says he hasn't even seen his parents in a couple of days. So he's such a stoner that he hasn't even realized that he doesn't even know where his parents are at, and he hasn't seen them in a few days. But he's also has a crush on a neighborhood girl played by Jessica Alba, and he really likes her, and he's really nervous. He hasn't been able to go talk to her until he sees her riding on her bike, and she drops a lyric book where she writes lyrics for songs, and he's read them and he really likes them, and he thinks that she's very creative, and so he uses this this as a way of I'm going to go and I'm going to get her book that she dropped and bring it over to her, and that's sort of his way of breaking the ice and finally talking to her. He ends up not really doing that. He just sort of gives her the book and then walks off, and she tries to talk to him, but he's just too nervous to talk to her. Well, as the movie goes on, things start happening in the house. He actually does find out that his parents are dead. They're actually part of the Halloween display they have set up, because they have this decoration in their front window of their house, which has these two mannequins, I think, and they have jack-o'-lanterns on their heads, and he finds out that the mannequin bodies have been replaced by his parents. So that's where his parent bodies have been, and he finds out that they have been killed. And he's really freaked out by this. He thinks that the killer is in his house, and then his hand starts acting weird. And he realizes that he cannot control his hand. His hand has been possessed by some sort of evil, and he finds out that he was the one who actually, he believes that he's the one that killed his parents, and he just didn't know about it because he can't control his hand. And of course his friends think that he's crazy, but his hand ends up, acting crazy, and he ends up cutting his hand off, and then his hand goes around on a killing spree. And that's kind of as far as I want to go with this movie. Now, I remember seeing this movie years ago when I was pretty young on TV. I don't know how young I was, but I don't remember a whole lot about the movie. The one thing I always remember was the scene at the Halloween party, because there is a Halloween party they end up going to, and he ends up taking Jessica Alba there, and they're going there on like a date, and he's trying to hide the fact that his hand's alive, so he tells her to go ahead to the party before he gets there. And after he cuts his hand off, he finds out that the hand is the hand has actually been writing messages. Like before his parents were killed, the hand writes, I'm under the bed. and then and then that's when they know the parent, the mother realizes that something is underneath the bed, and that's and then she ends up getting killed. And later on, the hand writes, I'm coming for her, or she's mine. Yeah, it writes that she's mine, and that's when Devon Sawa finds out, or Anton finds out that the hand is going after Jessica Alba's character. And one thing I always remember from seeing it so many years ago, because like I said, I watched it years ago on TV, and I don't know if I knew the name of the movie. I think I learned it after I saw the movie. I don't think I watched the whole movie, though. I think it was playing on maybe Sci-Fi or AMC. Some channel was playing it around Halloween, and the one scene I remember is during the party, the band that is playing, which years later I found out was The Offspring, which I thought that was kind of cool that they played in the movie. But the one scene I always remember is when the hand comes down onto the lead singer's head and rips the top of his head off. And I remember watching it on TV, and it comes up, and in the scene, since it was on TV, they had to edit it. But I remember the hand coming down, grabbing his head, and then you see everyone's reaction to it. And then, so I always remember that scene the first time I watched it. And like I said, I watched it when I was very young. And then years later, I saw the entire movie, and I remember, and I was like, oh, so that's what that scene was from, because I couldn't remember the name of the movie, or I didn't know the name of the movie the first time I saw it on TV. And I always remember that one scene. That scene always stuck out to me of, the lead singer of The Offspring, half of his head being ripped off by the hand. When I was younger, I didn't know what The Offspring was. I didn't know what band that was. And now watching the movie again and seeing the band playing, I'm like, oh, that's The Offspring. I always thought it was kind of weird of how that, the song that they're playing is not one of they're playing a Ramones song in the movie. They're playing the I Want to Be Sedated, and I always thought it was kind of funny of how The Offspring wasn't playing one of their original songs. There's even, here's a picture of them on the back right there playing in the movie. But yeah, like I said, this movie is really, really fun, really, really over the top. The gore is really over the top, which is something that I think needs to be, I think that's what you need to do. During any horror comedy, you need to up the gore and make it so over the top and gory that it's funny. This is one movie where the gore is over the top and really bloody, that it's not gross, it's just really funny, and it's just, it's over the top, and that's what you need to do in a horror comedy. You need to make everything over the top. Like in Shaun of the Dead, a lot of those gory scenes, some of them are pretty gory and kind of gross, but then some of them are just kind of funny, and that's what you need to do in a horror comedy. But yeah, this is just like I said, really over-the-top, funny movie, and I haven't watched it in years, like I said, and so I thought I'd pop it in today. I'm about to go to work, but I really want to do I want to watch a movie that I can just sit down and just relax and just have a good time with. And this is definitely one movie. This movie is it's a cult movie. When it first came out, it was panned by critics and everyone, but over the years, this movie has got a really great cult following, and it's just an all-around fun movie. This Blu-ray was released by Image Entertainment, and for the most part, the transfer looks pretty good. I actually have already watched this. I watched this before I did this video, and I thought it was a pretty good transfer. There was no special features on it, unfortunately, but yeah. So anyway, guys, this was just a quick video. Like I said, I haven't done one of these movie time videos in a while, but I want to get back into doing them because this is just a great way for me to do quick videos, just sort of talking about random movies that I'm watching, or that I'm just about to watch, or I have already watched. Like I said, I just recently watched this movie already, and I just plan on watching it again before I go to work, because I have work in a couple of hours, and so I thought I'd pop this movie in. But yeah, guys, if you guys have seen Idle Hands, let me know what you guys think about it, because I know that a lot of people really enjoy it. I know it's got a good cult following, and I know a lot of people here on YouTube really enjoy it. So if you guys, so if you guys like it, let me know what you guys think about it. And if you guys haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking it out. Like I said, it's a really funny, just over-the-top horror comedy, stoner comedy. So if you're a fan of, over-the-top, horror comedies, I recommend checking it out. Guys, thanks everybody for watching. As always, if you guys want to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, I'll leave links down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope you guys have a great Wednesday.